So 2024 is shaping up to be a year of exposés and people just turning out to be some not so great people. Good example of that is Wilbur Soot. Um, I would say George, but I'm not really as sure about George actually being a bad person because the incident doesn't seem like it's that as big of a deal as people were initially saying it to be. But regardless, like I said, 2024, exposés, people coming out as bad people. Person in this video is no exception. You may know him, tnickless. He's someone that I personally have watched for probably a year and a half, I want to say. I'm not sure. But he kind of blew up, I think, in the end of 2022, mainly on TikTok because of his like clips from his streams that he would do, which is basically like going over like Discord memes or just different topics. It's kind of hard to describe. He's kind of like a variety kind of guy. Um, he would put it on his YouTube as well, and he was exposed for being a groomer. We'll get into that. We're going to go over his apology video, which isn't the greatest. Most people who have seen it, I've seen some people make comments about it, and most people kind of unanimously agree that it's not a good apology video, as most apology videos tend to be. So that's what we are going to be taking a look at today. So let's get right into it.
Yo, what's up everybody? This is not the normal video you're ever going to see on this channel, but I just wanted to make this video so I can clear things up and make things make more sense if it didn't make sense on the slide or the live stream that I went live on. So initially, I did delete the Discords. I deleted both Discords, one with 160,000 members and the other one with 20,000 members. I woke up, I was being spammed. I was seeing all these messages just being spammed and posted, and the server was pretty much nuked. At that point, you really can't recover a server. I tried to delete a few roles to, get them to stop, like the people, the mods that did that, but it didn't work. So I just deleted the Discords.
So he starts out the video by just kind of casually opening up the video with a "What's up, guys?" And he mentioned it there where he made a slideshow with showing screenshots and kind of defending himself. I kind of brisked over it when this first came out, but I did end up taking a look back at the screenshots and looking ahead in the video, and I don't think that all of the screenshots are both in the slideshow and his response video. So we will take a look at the slideshow after the video, also because it does kind of explain things better than the video. Let's continue on with the video.
With that being said, I said, okay, at that point, I'm going to have to get a response going and, try to clear things up. So that's what I did. I worked, there was a lot of images that I showed. So I wanted to make a Google slide, which wasn't me trolling or anything. It was just me being serious, but I guess it got memed or whatever. So I wasn't trying to joke about that. I was just making a Google slide, and that's what I thought I should do. So that's what I did. I made a Google slide and I tried to clear things up, but it wasn't the best, but I kind of just rushed it. I didn't want to show that I was hiding from anything, but yeah.
It's interesting here how he says that he felt like he had to delete the Discord, which I do somewhat agree that he wouldn't probably be able to recover a server, especially with these types of allegations. However, him getting spammed is kind of funny that he says that, because you can just mute Discord. I mean, both on like your phone and a PC, you can just go to the specific server or just Discord in general, I think, and just turn notifications off. So if you wanted to keep those servers, you could. But I guess, yeah, like he said, he can't really recover that, so I guess that does make sense. The thing with the slideshow is, like, it could be good. Like, it does feel very rushed. We'll get to the slideshow later. But the slideshow does feel rushed, and he said that he did rush to make it so that he doesn't seem like he was hiding anything, which I mean, yeah, that's a good thing to do, but I mean, the slideshow, I mean, it doesn't feel like it didn't feel like you were taking it seriously. It just didn't feel like the situation was as serious to him because he was just making a slideshow.
After that, I went live on Twitch, just showcasing that I'm not trying to hide away from anything. I just wanted to apologize live, and that's what I did. Also, I woke up this morning, my TikTok got banned, so I mean, I don't know.
The one thing I will say is like, at least he apologized, you know? At least he tries to apologize, you know? At least he gets something out there that's at least half decent, you know? Most apologies are pretty dog shit, as we know. This one isn't like the worst, as in like overall situation. He's made a slideshow, he's gone on Twitch, he makes this video, even though the video, as we'll go on, it's not the greatest, but it's better than nothing.
Initially, I just want to say, I want to get this out the way. This happened last year when I was 20 and B was 17, okay?
Now I'm gonna kind of spoil the slideshow here a little bit, but in this part he mentions that he was 20, she was 17. Something he mentions in the slideshow is that the age of consent in both of their states is 17 or 16 or something. He says that they're both above the age of consent, which, despite that fact, you know, of it being 16 or 17, like some states are, and, you know, places like Canada, where I am, is 16, it's still kind of weird because, generally speaking, 18 is an adult. Um, so, being that she is under that, it's kind of weird to be anything of flirtatious or anything. We'll get into that though.
But about last year, B was groomed by an ex mod, and I'm gonna show the screenshots here if you want to read them, and I'm gonna show the video in a second. But that so yeah, that happened, and apparently this happened 2 times in total. So when we first initially started talking, I never thought that they would want that to happen again, and they know what that looks like. So I didn't want that to happen again. So when we were talking, I thought everything was genuine and there was nothing wrong. There was never a moment in my head where I'm like, oh, I'm grooming Bree, and this is what's gonna happen. That never crossed my mind once. I thought everything was genuine.
This part was pretty interesting. Apparently, this person was also groomed 2 other times. So, if we're gonna call this situation a grooming, this person has been groomed 3 times. So that's definitely not a great factor. Also, I'll pop up the screenshots, like a still frame of them, because he doesn't really show them for very long. But it's some not so great stuff.
So I'm gonna show the video now though, and you can just watch it, skip it, I don't know. But the next thing I want to talk about is how I never like forced anything. I don't know how that narrative got out, but I'm just gonna show some screenshots, and some are just like friendly, like conversations where like, we used to play Roblox and watch videos and stuff like that. I just want to show that nothing was ever forced, and nothing, like nobody ever did anything they didn't want to.
For the most part here, I agree with the screenshots showing that there were just some like friendly back and forth. The one part that's a little weird is the part where she says, "You can put your tip in me." He responds with, "It'd be a better tip." So basically, a sort of flirtatious back and forth initiated by a 17-year-old who is apparently the victim in this situation. So I will say it is kind of both of their faults in this, from just this screenshot alone. That's kind of just both of them being kind of weird, that a 17-year-old is kind of quote unquote flirting with a above 18-year-old, I guess. We'll just say 20-year-old, and then he's reciprocating that back.
So while I'm showing that, I'm just gonna keep talking over it. But anyway, so there were explicit text and stuff like that that I can't show on YouTube, obviously for that reason. And were those texts good? No. But at the same time, like I wasn't talking to myself. Like it only got showed from one side, so it just looks really bad. So yeah, but I'm not gonna show those obviously just because like out of like privacy and stuff like that. And I mean, what's what it's along the lines of.
Like I said, they're kind of going back and forth with the inappropriate text. I mean, we don't see them. I'm not gonna show them, but yeah, they're not looking they're too hot, so they're both not looking the greatest in this situation.
Next situation I want to bring up is the whole plane situation and fly yacht situation and wait till you graduate situation. That was it was showed one part of that whole conversation. So I'm going to show the whole conversation. You guys can read through it as I'm talking. So basically, here's what happened. We were talking about how I wanted somebody with a future, and she was bringing up how that she's in college currently to be a nurse, and she's almost done graduating, and that she would have the time to basically talk to me and do that at the same time. So I said, no, how about you just, work on that? And because, we all have, like, I'm streaming, I have my own goals, and she has her own goals. So I was saying, work on that. Don't get distracted. In a year, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? I'll say, how about you finish that and we'll fly out in a year? It wasn't like, I don't know what that, I don't know, but it just looked really bad. But you can read through everything right here.
Now, this part was probably the part that people most talked about, I feel like, is the waiting until you graduate, which kind of it sounds really weird, and I looked at the screenshots. It's not really that bad, but it is a little weird. It's like, uh, it's him basically saying, uh, give it a year, and then I think he was planning on like flying her out or something. It's a little weird. It's
Overall, looking back at it, that is something I would have shut down. But like I said, in that mindset, we were seven. I was 20, she was 17. I thought everything was genuine. I never once thought that I was making her uncomfortable or anything like that. And if anything would have been said, like all she had to do was bring up, hey, I don't want to, I don't want to talk like that. Then it would have just been back to normal. And I would have never done anything like that.
obviously looking back, you would want to change something that's kind of getting you into shit. I mean, I'm sure most of us, looking back on our lives, no matter how young or old we are, there's probably something that we regret doing. And this is definitely something you would want to regret. Not shutting down the advances of a 17-year-old as an adult yourself, you should understand not to allow these types of things, especially at 20. It's not like you're a complete adult. You've been an adult for 2 years, but that's still 2 years of being an adult. So, that's a pretty decent amount of time for you to figure out not to allow advances from an underage individual. So, that's pretty much where his video ends. I feel like it doesn't address it a ton. He just kind of pops screenshots up and just says, take a look at it. I kind of wish he would go a little in depth and explain himself, because that would be a little helpful. But I guess that's what the slideshow is for, so that's what we're going to take a look at now. Now, going through the slideshow, the first few slides is just kind of explaining the situation. We've already gone over that. Then the next, like, 10 slides I think there is a bunch of screenshots of their texts ranging, I believe, from around September of last year to about December of last year. Now, most of it is kind of friendly talk, wanting to play games and just kind of chatting. Then at some point in one of the screenshots, B makes it very clear that she wants to like actually date tnickless at some point. As he says in the slideshow, he actually kind of just passed along. He didn't actually really respond to it, which is, of course, what you should do if they're underage. Just kind of pass it off and just not really ignore it, but like shut it down. But as we go along the screenshots, we can see that most of the time it is just B like adamantly trying to get to well to get with tnickless, and he kind of just shuts it down, explaining that he just wants to be friends. There's at some point in these screenshots where he says, or rather agrees, that she's wifey material. But out of these screenshots, that's like the only suspicious thing in that we see. Now, in one of the last slides, he brings up a quote from someone that's probably in one of his Discords or in a Discord message. Apparently, he was spamming GIFs and stickers that were explicit, which, yeah, that's definitely not great. And, I mean, it would be vaguely okay if there weren't any minors, but, of course, there's minors. Once again, not great. Now, overall, looking at the things that are given in the video and the slide, I think it's sort of a two-sided thing. Like it's kind of both of their faults. In the video, it definitely seems a lot worse. For tnickless, it seemed like some of the screenshots and some of the things brought up make it just doesn't seem that great for him. But when you go to the slideshow, you can definitely see that in the screenshots there that it's definitely like both of them. However, it is definitely still weird, regardless. You know, obviously, B in this situation, still really weird to be doing any sort of flirtatious things as a 17-year-old, someone who is underage, with someone who is 20. But at the same time, it is also kind of weird for someone who is 20 to be at least somewhat reciprocating these things with someone who's underage. I know technically the age of consent, they're both over it. Still kind of weird, like I said, where technically one is not an adult, because obviously 18 and over is kind of one of the things that's considered to be an adult. That's kind of the main thing, is like 18 and over, you know, regardless of age of consent. Now, if you take a look at tnickless' YouTube stats on Social Blade, we can see that he's been losing like thousands of subscribers. Now, I don't know for sure if people have actually looked at everything. They might have like brisked over the apology video, saw that it was not necessarily the greatest, and just kind of made up their mind. Or if they maybe saw that people were just outright saying, "Oh yeah, he's a groomer," and then just unsubscribed. I'm not sure what's all going on, but it doesn't look great for him. He has posted a couple videos. One of them I believe was a vlog style, and then one was a YouTube short. So it seems that he's going to likely try and get back into at least making some videos, but I guess we'll have to see how that goes. But anyways, guys, I think that's all I have to look for in today's video. Let me know what what your opinion is in the comments down below. Do you think tnickless is a groomer in any way? Do you think he's innocent? Do you think it's B's fault? Do you think it's more one person's, less the others? Do you think it's equal? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, follow the socials, join the Discord. I'll see you guys in the next video.